Okay, you're going to be discussing this today. Luca.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. Hi, hi, hi. All righty. So, a couple quick announcements. Oh, wait a second to make sure everyone's on here. Hello, Newberry family. Hello, Micah, Noah. Hi, Burke ladies. Hello, Kalia. Kalia, I love your hair. Did you cut your bangs? You did a little while ago, right? A couple weeks ago. They look really cute. Hello, everybody that's at Miss Crystal's house. Hi, Miss Nicole. Hello, Rihanna. Hi, Kinsey. I'm glad you're on here. Hello, Amber. Hello, Luca. Hi, Miss Kathy. Hi, Maya. Hi, Landon. Hello, Caleb. Hi, Avina. Hello, Braden. Who is that? Mackenzie or is that Brooklyn? I can't tell. Hello. Whichever it is. That's Mackenzie. Hi, Mackenzie. Hello, Beatrice. Hi, Nicholas. What else is on here? Hi, Daniel. Hi, Soraya. Okay, so I know some more people are hopping on. Hey, Darius. Okay, so for any of my team leaders that are on here, I know you're on here. I'm gonna reach out to some of you guys today to come up with a plan to start team leading again. So we do have live classes and we have the virtual classes. So I'll talk to you guys about what the schedule is going to be like June 1st and what we can do going forward. I think actually for the most part, every day of the week, we're going on June 1st, we're going to have classes in the studio. So we'll probably have the team leaders start coming back in and doing those. I'll reach out to you guys later today. Okay, for some other announcements, we are not going to have Mat Chat on Fridays anymore. So Monday through Thursday will be Mat Chat days. We are going through this book. So if you will make a commitment to getting on every Mat Chat with us and reading along, paying attention, taking notes, that kind of stuff, then you can get a copy of this book. I ordered some. They're at the studio, so you can pick it up. We finished the first chapter called Inside Out yesterday, and we're going to review it today and talk about some and stuff. And then what we're going to cover tomorrow is the next chapter, which is the 7 Habits and Overview. So go ahead and start reading over that one. And we're going to cover that tomorrow. Okay. Oh, this week is buddy week. So a lot of people brought their buddies to class yesterday. Raise your hand if you brought a buddy to class, to our virtual class, had them log on to a virtual class yesterday. Yeah, good job to everybody who did that. There were a lot of people who did. So just so you guys know, if you do bring a buddy, one, it's fun for them. A lot of your friends from school, your cousins or whatever are bored right now looking for something to do, get some exercise, that kind of stuff. So it's a good thing. We'll get a month of karate classes, of virtual karate classes as well. If you bring a buddy, you do get a star and you get entered into a raffle. We're raffling off one of the wooden bokens. So Wednesday night after classes, tomorrow's the last day for Buddy Day. If you bring a buddy to class tomorrow, you'll get entered in that raffle. And then at the end of the night, we'll do a Facebook Live. We'll do a Facebook Live for that raffle. Let's see. What else do we have going on? We already talked about the next chapter. We do have live classes right now. So June 1st, our official phase 1 of reopening kind of thing, where we are going to start having live classes and virtual classes basically every day. So I'll put that schedule out this week. But we do right now. So like tonight at 6:30 p.m. and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. we have a family class. So anybody is welcome to come take that class. That is outside, so there's not a capacity on it because we have tons of space on our property to all stay socially distant and everything. Once we get into the studio for those live classes, those will be we'll have a capacity at those. spaced it out and we can fit 12 people on. So live classes are Tuesdays and Thursdays. For those, we do ask that any family members or friends or anyone that are there stay in the car, and you guys don't gather or socialize or things like that. Stay 6 feet apart. We recommend that you wear a mask. I would probably, for that, wear your mask going in, and once you start the class, take it off, because it is difficult, you know, when you're exercising to wear it. And that's probably what I'm going to do into the studio, is you will be required to wear a mask if you go into the studio. But once you get on your mat space and you're away from everybody else, you can take it off while you're exercising. Okay, so just keep posted for details on that and our summer camp. So we are opening our summer camp up June 1st as well. I know a lot of you guys that are in the after school program have already registered for that. We're already getting close to being full, which is exciting. I think that is all that I have for announcements. Does anyone, before I get started with our book review, does anyone have any questions about anything that's going on in the studio or anything like that? Any questions? Okay. All right, let's see. Mr. Caleb has his stars ready, so we'll go ahead and do stars. Who else has stars to turn in today? Caleb, how many do you have?
I don't know how many I have, but I have 4 sheets. One of them is karate homework, building good character 5, character building sheet 1, and black belt excellent to-do list character building sheet 6.
Let me see that one. The black belt excellence one, that's the one that's 7 days, right? So that one is 7, and then you have 3 others that are 1 star. So you have 10 total.
Yes,
Good
thank
job.
you.
Let's clap for Caleb. Very nice. All right, Miss Beatrice, how many do you have?
I have 1. It's the character building chapter review sheet.
Very good. Good job. Let's clap for Beatrice. Good. And all of those kinds of things, guys, you can do. There is a character building sheet for the 7 habits, and there's one for what to say when you talk to yourself. Those are required by the time you get to black belt. So if you haven't done those, now's a good time to do it. You can also, as you're following along with this and reading at home, count that as your book club one too. Good job, Beatrice. All right, Luca, how many do you have?
4.
I have
4.
1 for the character building sheet chapter review, and 1 for the karate homework, and is it 2 for the karate homework that
For
you
the
told us?
last time.
It's 1 for that
The
page.
thing that you. Okay, then 3 stars.
All right.
I
Good
thought
job.
it was.
My grandma thought it was 2 stars.
There's one of them. It's like you. I don't know what it's labeled, but you fill in the blank, and it says on there it's worth 2 stars, and it's highlighted.
No. Last night he did the problem thing and then the paradigm thing.
Did the what?
The
The
problem.
karate homework that you told us to do yesterday.
Oh, from the character. Yeah, so we'll go over those in a minute. So these are other stars. So you have 3 other stars. We're going to talk about those problems, and you'll get those stars in a minute too, okay? All right, good job, Luca.
You're cutting in and out.
Oh, okay, we're going to go over the book review homework in just a minute. All right, Miss Stella, how many do you have?
I have 9.
9. Which one are they?
Book club seat and 2 book club sheets.
Okay, 2 book club sheets, and what else?
And the chore seat.
Oh, good. Very good, Stella. Good job. Good job. All right. Anybody else? Caleb Ricks, how many do you have?
I just have a question.
Okay.
When do you go to pick up the books?
So any day during the week between 1 and 7.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any other stars? Emily, how many do you have, Emily?
We have 7 each. We did the chore sheets.
Good job, girls. Very good. Clap for Amber and Emily. All right, and Rihanna, and I think Rihanna's the last one. How many do you have, Rihanna?
I have one, and it's the character building sheet chapter review.
Very good. Let's clap for Rihanna. Okay, very good, you guys. All right, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen and we will get started. Let's see. Bum, bada, bum. Okay, and we'll do this. All right, so we're talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people. We finished the chapter. We did it in 2 parts. So hopefully everyone has kind of read over it. Hopefully everyone did the homework that I gave you guys yesterday. If not, I want you to do it as we go. So right now, if you do not have something, a paper and to write with, go get one right now. Have something to take notes with. You guys have 30 seconds to go get a paper and a pen. And if you already did your homework, then you already have a paper. Okay, so the first thing I asked you guys to do was read through the chapter. The next thing was to write down one problem that you have, and just like the examples in the beginning that he gave, point personality ethics fix would be something like short term, like kind of like a short term fix, and then a character ethics fix. So something that you could do, something that how you could be different from the problem. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about first. So who wants to share one of the problems that they have and what their personality or character fixes were? Miss Nicole.
Okay, so I came up with I would think a pretty common one would be to lose weight. And the personality fix would be the supposed quick fix diets that you can lose all this weight in 2 weeks or 10 days. Or even a month, but they're not long-term solutions. You won't be able to keep the weight off because you need what did you call it? The character. You needed the character trait fix because you need, instead, to keep off the weight, you need to have a really healthy food diet, exercise to lose weight, then keep it off, instead of some quick fix, which might not include enough nutrients and make you sick.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that one up. That's a really good one. And exactly what you said, a lot of people with weight loss go to a really quick fix. Like I could lose 20 pounds by not eating for 3 days and I would survive. I probably want to die for not eating for 3 days, but I could get really sick. And as soon as I started eating again, I would gain it right back. Okay, so weight loss is a perfect example of that short-term fix. And instead, if I want to lose 20 pounds, instead of like not eating for 3 days for fasting or all the fad diets that are out there, you could do these fad diets. Most of them, like she said, are not sustainable. Even I know people who have, what is it? One of the ones that was recently like a big thing. What is it called? It's not paleo. Paleo was a thing for a while. And then
Keto.
Thank you. Whoever said that. The keto diet is the new fad diet right now. And there are some health benefits to it. I know some people who have started the keto diet and initially they drop a lot of weight and they feel really good just because of the weight loss, but it's not sustainable. Start being drained in energy, and it's just the people that I've known that have been on it it's not a long-term. And as soon as you stop doing it, you gain the weight right back. So finding, and this is a perfect thing to talk about where our theme of healthy habits, and that's what you have to do. If I want to lose 20 pounds, I need to create healthy habits. I need to start exercising regularly, making healthy eating choices, not overeating, things like that. Another big thing, which would be a character ethic, is I need to look at how I see myself. There are so many people, this is one of the biggest issues with weight loss. People will lose, you'll see people get a gastric bypass surgery or all of these things to lose weight. But what happens is they don't see themselves as thin. they still see themselves as overweight. So you can see somebody lose 100 pounds and then gain it all back because they did not, they picked a quick fix, did not fix the real issue. Because I see myself as overweight and this is who I am. These are the habits that I have. These are the tendencies I have. You hear people say, most adults who are struggling with their weight or not even struggling with their weight, but are have to be conscious about what they're eating and stuff, talk about habits they have. They say, oh, I just eat chocolate every day, or I have to have sugar in my coffee, or I really love bread, or things like that. They give themselves this image of themselves, and that's what the core thing that needs to be fixed. That's a really good one. Thank you, Miss Nicole. Good job. Good job. Okay, so Miss Nicole gets a star. Should give her an extra 5 stars because that's a good one. All right, what else? Who else did their homework? Miss Destiny, what was yours?
Mine was schooling.
Okay, so what was the problem with schooling and what were the 2 fixes?
I don't like to do school, so I'm behind on my schooling.
Okay, so what would a kind of like a short-term little personality fix be?
Working harder.
Yeah, I could say I'm gonna create this habit of working harder, but what would a real character fix be? What could you look at yourself and say, I need to be different in what way to fix this, to solve this problem?
Studying an extra hour.
Yeah, so instead of maybe even finding out how to motivate yourself for schooling, find out what you like about schooling and focus on those things. And kind of when we going back to the last thread, changing your attitude and your mind for schooling will help you long-term enjoy it and appreciate it a little bit more. Good job, Destiny. All right, Ezekiel, what was yours?
Mine was also with school.
Okay, and what were this?
Well, my problem is listening and following directions the first time with school. So after I learn this one problem, I like forget it the next day. So the way that I can fix it is I listen and study harder.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so with that, what you need to start doing is listening and studying harder, right? So what we could say, what a lot of people would say is, oh, just study harder. That's a thing that you could start doing, a skill, a technique, but that's kind of shallow and short term. What you need to do is kind of look a little bit deeper and say, what can I do personally? What can I change about myself to make sure that I'm actually doing this? So I want you to think about that one. That's a good one. Good job, Ezekiel. All right, so Ezekiel gets a star. Who else did their homework? Good job, guys. All right, I can't see, someone's raising their hand, but I can't see your head or your name. All right, Beatrice. You're muted, Beatrice. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
My problem that I wrote down is that I tend to hold in feeling and emotions and then blow up or break down when I least expect it.
Okay, good. That's a good one too, to recognize, a big one to recognize. Like we said when we were talking about this chapter, it's hard sometimes to recognize and admit when you have a character trait that you need to work on, right? And so that's really good that you've recognized that. Now, what do you think would be a shallow fix, like a personality fix, something that's short-term, shallow?
People say like all the time, just like open up, just be honest. And that's like kind of like a shallow thing to say.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is, because that's very, it's a technique. I could say, oh, just open up. And you maybe could, if someone was right there to be like, oh, open up, but it's not really deep down. So what would be the character ethic fix?
I said just to see, like being honest and like to see it not as a weakness anymore, like to recognize that like asking for help is not a weakness.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of appreciating your sensitivity and your emotions. And a lot of times we say that, breaking down, but sometimes we need to cry. It is healthy for your body, for you to cry. It lets out some of those emotions. It's not always a bad thing. Okay. Who else had one? Good job, Beatrice. Miss Katie.
So my problem lately has been ignoring my health until it gets to the point where I need to be at the doctor and not do karate.
Okay, and what are your 2 fixes?
So like, I guess like a short-term fix would be listening to my body a little bit more. And then a long-term fix is actually taking time for myself to actually get that rest and eating healthier and, doing more things for self-care.
Very good. Good job, Miss Katie.
Thank you.
All right, Mackenzie.
Mine, well, my subject is sleep, and my problem, I actually have 2 problems: waking up late or waking up too early. And my solutions are set an alarm or go to bed earlier.
Okay, and so those would kind of be personality. Those are kind of, it's like a technique that you could start doing. But what could you change a little bit more? What would you say would be the character ethic fit? That one's a little harder. Okay, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would say probably just kind of what you said, but creating habits of that. So always doing that, making your priority and thinking of yourself important and recognizing that kind of side of it and develop habits of those things, going to sleep on time, waking up on time. Good job, Mackenzie. All right, who else? Miss Kathy.
So I actually did too, but I'll just share my organization problem. I constantly feel like I'm not organized enough. I'm trying to balance too many things and never quite successfully. So my issue is organization. The quick fix would be to set up a better system with it. But the issue that I always have with it is that I never quite change my habits. So, I'll set up this beautiful system and how it's supposed to work, but then I just fall back into the same routines, so stuff doesn't get put away. I just throw my coat over here. I'll throw my purse over here. Like the mail just gets thrown wherever, I feel like it. And then I'll find, this important paper, 3 weeks later when I really needed it, 3 days ago. Or so the character ethic is not only to implement the system, but then to change the habits so that I actually use the system better.
Very good. Yeah, that's a good one. And he talks about that problem specifically in this chapter. So I don't know if you read it yet, but I would at least sneak over to where he talks about that specific problem. He says that though with time in there, but that's a good one and very similar. Your answers were very similar to what his were. Good job, Miss Kathy. All right, see who else has one. Who is that? Is that Rihanna? I think so. Okay, go ahead, Rihanna.
So I don't have one. I just have to leave early because I have another meeting.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Who else? Has anyone else have one of their problems? Kalia.
When I put my animals up, I forget to feed them. So a short-term thing is to, whenever I put them up, I check their food, and a long-term one is to make sure I get in habit of checking their food when I put them up.
Good job. Good job, Kalia. Good. Okay. Is there anybody else who did that one? Landon?
My problem is cleaning my room without being asked. Quick fix, stop being lazy.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, okay, what would you say was your character, your long fix?
Long term, make a chore, make a short show and mark it off every day.
Good. And you know what? I would almost flip those around. So I would say the chore chart, the chore chart is actually short-term fix. Okay, because if I make a chore, oh my goodness, now you have me stumbling over it. If I make a chore chart and follow through with it this week, that doesn't necessarily change my habit. So it might next week. But the long-term character ethic fix would be to stop being lazy. So to be, and wording that in a positive way, to be more proactive or have more self-discipline. So you could start with the chore chart and do that every single week until you build the habits and create the self-discipline to have that. But good, that's a very good one. Good job, Landon. Good job, good job. Chore chart. Everyone say chore chart 5 times. Go. Chore chart, chore chart. Okay, anybody else have one? I think that was it. Good job, you guys. Those are really good. And thank you guys for sharing. You know, during Black Belt class yesterday, I was talking about how, I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched Grey's Anatomy, any of the adults on here, any of your parents have ever watched Grey's Anatomy, but that's, I love that show. And so I was watching it the other day, and one of the sayings they have in there is, and I'm going to butcher it, but it's see one, do teach one. And that, I mean, it's obviously they're referencing surgery. If you watch a surgery, you do a surgery, and then you teach a surgery. And by the time you're teaching a surgery, you've got it down. Like you absolutely have the inside out of the technique, right? Martial arts is the same way. That's how our system works. You learn a technique, you practice the technique, you do it, and then you teach the technique. And that's how you really master something. So that's with character development too. In martial arts, it's the same thing. So when we're talking about these, all of you guys just now who shared, you guys all saw one when we did listen to me explain the chapter yesterday. And then you got to put it in practice by writing your own problems. And then you share now is you teaching it to everybody else. So that's how you really master these concepts, is by listening to it, putting into practice, and then sharing it, talking about it, sharing it with other people. So good job to everybody who just earned those stars and did that homework. All right, for our next one, this was the second assignment I asked you guys to do. So again, if you didn't do it, go ahead and write it now. I wanted you to write down an example of a paradigm shift. So we talked, paradigm is the way that you perceive something, right? About the story of the man on the train who watched this man and his kids being so rude, and the man watching him, he was just looking down, or acting crazy and disrupting everybody on the train, and he was kind of upset and irritated by it. But then he heard that the man's wife just died and the kid's mom just died, and his paradigm, his perception shifted, and immediately went into how can I help? Instead of being irritated, he was sympathetic, empathetic, wanted to help. So I wanted each to write down a time where a paradigm shift. Okay. So who did that and who would like to share? Miss Destiny.
My paradigm shift was when you see someone who has ugly, wore out, holey clothes, and then you find out that that's the only clothes they have.
Yeah, it's really easy when you're young, especially when you start caring about the clothes that you wear and you have cute clothes on and you see somebody else who doesn't have great, that's what you think, right? They don't have great style, they don't have cute clothes. And then your paradigm completely shifts when you go into that understanding of, you know, maybe they can't afford clothes or things like that. But yeah, that's a good one. Okay, Miss Kathy.
So my paradigm shift came one of my first years I was teaching, which was probably when I was in my mid-20s, long time ago. So I had just, the semester before I had taught a harder course, and then the semester that I'm referring to, I was teaching a slightly easier course. So it was a linear algebra course as opposed to an abstract algebra course. And I had the same student in both courses. And the previous semester during the harder course, she was fantastic, and she was making all these wonderful connections. And the next semester, I expected her to be brilliant in the course, because it was an easier course and she already had done all the harder work. And she just was kind of off her game the entire semester. And during one incident, she was talking in class and I was like, Lilia, what are you doing? And it was just constantly disappointed with her that semester. And I found out later from another teacher, I didn't really realize that she had a kid. I mean, she was about 20. She had a baby, and her childcare had gotten really messed up that semester. And so the previous semester, she had the kid, but her childcare was great. And this semester, she was just really struggling with it. And there was all this background stuff that I just didn't know about as a teacher. And at the time, I didn't have a kid and I didn't really relate to all that struggle and everything like that. So it taught me to, even if it's the same kid that you see, to never really hold them to the same standard every semester. And so it really changed a lot about how I teach and what assumptions I make about the students. So
that's a good one. That's very true in martial arts. We see it as instructors. We try very hard to understand what each of our students are, going through in their lives, what struggles they're having, things like that. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes something's going on, and that's a good point too. A lot of times we know each student, and you set a precedent for them, and well, this one has this background, so of course it's going to be a little bit different, or this one's going through this, so this is going to be. But knowing that the same person could be going through something, or just like if you see one of your friends or a teacher or an instructor who's always so nice and smiling and happy, and then you see them one day and they're really, really mean, they're really, really upset. Just having that moment to understand you don't know what's going on in their personal life, right? Okay. Miss Mackenzie.
My paradigm was, if you see someone who can't kick above their belt, then you find out they have medical problems.
Yeah, you see that a lot too with young kids, more so I think with boys. But if someone can't play a sport, other kids will laugh at them or joke around with them, and they kind of think it's funny because it's not they wouldn't be upset over it. But you don't know what medical issues this person's having, and if they're not physically able to or things like that. So good, Mackenzie. All right, who else has a paradigm shift they wanted to share? Miss Nicole?
I've unfortunately done this to my kids too many times, so I am learning, I swear. In particular, the boy child, in which I see him doing something and I swear that means must be doing something bad, right? And then he's like, no, I'm doing this. And I'm like, oh crap. I was on the verge. I snapped at him on the verge of yelling, and then realized he wasn't doing anything wrong in the first place. So I'm trying real hard to learn from that one. Just because the kid isn't doing what you think they should be doing doesn't mean they're actually doing anything bad.
Yeah, I think every parent can attest for that one, or anyone who's babysat somebody regularly is guilty of that. I know with Marley's really good at making messes. And so if she's in the bathroom too long, I usually will go in there and the toothpaste is all over the counter like that. So that exact same thing the other day, she was in the bathroom for a long time. And so I was snapped at her and I was like, what are you doing kind of thing. And she was washing her hands and she was being good, but it's just assumption, especially if it's a habit, a pattern in behavior, you automatically jump to that assumption, and that's hard to do. And sometimes Tegan, I do it. Sometimes I'm like, why are you being mean to me? And she's trying to help her with something or something along those lines. So yeah, same thing. Even teaching classes, you have that with your students. I've seen that so many times when I was in school, substitute teachers or teachers, a lot of times it was substitutes because they didn't know the students. There would be a person talking to a student in class, they would get yelled at, not knowing that that student was helping another student or that. Okay, Miss Beatrice. Thank you, Miss Nicole. That was a good one.
My paradigm shift, when I was in elementary school, there was this girl, she used to be like, she like was bubbly and happy like all the time. And like people found it, like I found it annoying and all that. And so I later learned that her parents like recently went through a divorce, and that was just her way of like masking like how she was feeling by like being smiley and bubbly and just being over the top all the time.
Good, that's a good one. All right, anybody else? Miss Becky. Thank you, Beatrice.
So mine is, we had this landlord one time, and they, this is really mean, but never anything was ever done properly or timely. Our toilet was broke for like a month, and it was always, oh, I'll be there, I'm not going to show up, blah, blah, blah. And this went on for like 3 months straight. So finally one day when they were there, we got to talking, and come to find out her husband had cancer. And her kids have issues, mental issues too. And we didn't know this. And so, I mean, she was just trying to run her whole family on her own and do the best and have a rental and work. And I felt horrible because I was just like, although it is still business, it helped me be a little bit more understanding of not everyone is going through what you're going through. So, and that's like a really big deal. Like, she was trying her best.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what her schedule looked like. So trying to get out there to fix the toilet was the lowest on her priority list.
I felt horrible. Although because it was frustrating, our toilet was broke for like a month. Like that's, but it's not as bad as that. So.
Definitely. Thank you, Miss Becky. All right, Miss Katie.
So one time I was in the hospital with my heart condition, and my dad was with me for one of the first times. My dad doesn't like me being in the hospital at all. I'm his baby. So I had been there for a while in the waiting room, and my dad was getting upset because there were people that come in that they didn't look that sick that would go before me. And I told him, I was like, Dad, you have to understand. I was like, yes, I do have a heart condition, but if these people are getting called in before me, then their condition is a lot worse. Mm-hmm. So then he did realize on later, that they did have, more medical emergencies, because that room that they had went in, they had called like a code in that room later on.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that a lot in the hospital. Okay, anybody else? No, we're good. All right. Thank you guys all for sharing those. Those were good. Okay, so I take a second to talk about how we could apply this to school and martial arts, and what everything that you guys just shared kind of covered most of that. But back to this one. So we talked about this before, but really quick. So personality ethics would be kind of like the techniques you learn in martial arts. The character ethics, in my opinion, are more like the tenets and the codes and the life skills that we teach in our program. And then as far as the paradigm shift, this one, just keeping, I think every one of you guys kind of said that, gave an example of a time where you thought one thing and then you found out what was going on, what the background was, and your perception completely changed. And so just trying to keep in mind all the time, whenever you start to get upset at another person, like what could be going on in their life. And that amount of compassion or empathy is a big character trait to develop. And it takes a lot of time to develop that, but that's something that all of us could work on and be better people for, and be happier people for. Not letting yourself get super upset about things like that. Okay, so did anyone have any questions? Anyone who read through this chapter, any questions about the chapter? All righty, cool. Then a quick review of the announcement. So no mat chat on Fridays anymore. So Monday through Thursday. Tomorrow is the last buddy week. So invite a friend to class. We're doing a raffle for a Boken tomorrow night at the end of classes. Everyone who brings a buddy will earn one. we are starting our next, so start tomorrow. So start looking through that chapter. It is called The 7 Habits Overview. That's the chapter. So start going through that one. And we do have the live classes Tuesday and Thursdays at 6:30. Black belt workout for all red and blue belts and above, Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. For that black belt workout, if you absolutely cannot come into the black belt workout, we are streaming it on Zoom. You can get on Zoom the normal class code at that time. It won't be interactive because it's outside. The setup's a little different. So you won't have someone interacting with you, but you can follow along with the class. And then just keep your eye open for announcements. We'll email and post on Facebook as details as we have them about our reopening June 1st. And I think that is it. So I will hang out for just a minute. Any other questions for me? Otherwise, I hope everyone has an amazing Tuesday, and I will see you guys all tomorrow for Mat Chat. Bye, guys. Darius, do you have a question?
Bye. Well, I have stars.
Bye.
Oh, you have stars. Okay. Bye. How many stars do you have, Darius?
I have 16. The character building sheet 10. The healthy eating. Black belt excellence and character building sheet number 7.
Awesome. Good job, Darius. Very nice. Good job. Good job. Miss Beatrice, do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I just wanted to let you know that me and Danielle will not be at the black belt workout this Saturday, but we will be on the Zoom class following along.
Okay, cool. I also wanted to talk to you too. I can ask you now. Do you
Okay.
want to start? So right now, because you were team leader on Tuesday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to start coming in to the Tuesday 6:30, just the next 2 weeks, to the outdoor class and helping CIT with that one?
So not this week, but like the next 2 after that. Because we're not in town right now, so.
Okay. Yeah, then not this week.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to start doing that? So
Sure.
next
Yes.
will be the only day that we have it, just the evening live class, and then
Okay.
second will be the next one. We are probably going to have our class schedule starting June 2nd. So,
All right.
make sure it's good with your mom and everything for you to start coming in then. But if you could come in and do your normal CIT hours starting June 2nd, that would be fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Beatrice.
Bye.
Bye. Miss Kalia, you have a question?
It wasn't a question. It was I had a paradigm.
Yeah.
One of my friends at school, he breaks his bones a lot, and a bunch of people think he's just weak and he doesn't like take care of himself. But he has like a slight version of osteoporosis.
Yeah, and that's hard. A lot of physical conditions, especially for kids, you don't have a full understanding of what kind of physical conditions are out there. One who has one, it's hard. It's hard to deal with it because of that. So that's a good one though. It's a good example. Good job. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a great rest of your day.